Random little hair there. Hi. Hello. Happy Wednesday. Just hanging out a little bit before I go to bed. I got done with work early, so I thought I'd come on and hang out a little bit. And as usual, talk about abuse or whatever comes our way. We don't always have to talk about abuse. That is obviously usually what I talk about, since this is what I do on most of my channels. I do have too many channels of things. I don't know if TikTok is connected. I can't tell if TikTok is connected. Hello, welcome in. Can you see me, TikTok? My light is red, so it says red, so I can't tell if I'm actually connected to you or not. Hi, Mathilde, welcome in. Just trying to see if TikTok is actually working. You know what? We're just going to try this one again. That was weird. Try this one again. Nope. Okay. Nope. TikTok does not want me to be live right now. I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, I'm here for the next little bit. Let's see. I will start off with letting you know that I have a new podcast episode out today. It's about entitlement when it comes to abuse. Obviously, people who aren't necessarily abusive can also have a strong sense of entitlement and can do some of the same things that abusive people do. But when you are with an abusive person, especially if they're anything like the one that I experienced, nothing is yours anymore. Everything is theirs. So that's what this week's podcast episode is about. I talk about, I go into depth about what that can look like and what kinds of things they can claim for their own, which is not fun. I'm going to set you right here so I don't have to set you on the computer because Kat just walked in. And I know that Kat is going to say, ma'am, are we on your computer again? I was going to clean off my computer. It's looking really rough. But it's all the way over there, my little cleaner stuff, which actually isn't for cleaning the computer, but I was going to do it anyway. Anyway, Kat, hi, welcome in. How's it going? How's everybody doing? I usually don't mind the computer, but last time was so loud. Yeah, sometimes it's quiet, and sometimes I think right now it's really loud. I think right now it's doing its thing. So we will just set you over there. Plus the phone's charging, so I have you propped up on a blanket. So that I don't have to hold the phone because I don't like that. I move too much. I'm focused on this. Sorry about what happened to you. It's amazing that you're using that struggle for good. Thank you. Yeah, I first wasn't sure what I would share, but then it didn't feel right not to share. And that's what I've been doing. As usual, Kat is on the ball with muting people. I will say, someone came in on TikTok and said, respectfully, this lady has no idea what she's talking about. But, things like that, you don't have to say respectfully because you don't mean it with respect when you say things like that. So you can just say, this lady has no idea what she's talking about. And then we'll let everyone else decide for themselves if I know what I'm talking about or not. All right. One of the things that really bothers me about social media talk is the way people talk. Like, nobody ever said stuff like that before to be disrespectful until we had social media. Respectfully, I don't like your face. Like, people didn't used to talk like that. And now, because we're all behind our screens, I got muted once. I felt so bad. What'd you do? Kat? Sometimes you get bored when you're in here, but today, you're working. I swear nothing. I'm gonna be honest, I don't believe you because if Kat made someone, I trust Kat. They know what I like and don't like in my lives, and they pretty much have free reign to decide what's fair game or not. And so you probably said something. Are you the one who like complimented me or something? It wasn't here. It wasn't on TikTok. Then I don't know what I talked about because the only place that you can get muted by a person is on TikTok. Anyway, I'm sitting here recording this on YouTube and Facebook, and we're just talking about, yeah, okay. We're just talking about people making comments. And so if anyone has any questions, also thanks, Kat, for saying that. Kat said, we know that you know what you're talking about. To be fair, you had a front row seat to a lot of this stuff. So actually, I do want to talk about that. There's a couple people in here, but I do want to talk about that because nope, I totally lost what I was going to say. Can I ask an off-topic question? Let's find out. Ask the question. We'll see if we'll talk about it or not. Usually I'm an open book and everything's fair game and we talk about non-abuse related things, but if it's disrespectful, Kat's just going to mute you. What was I going to talk about though? Something that came up the other day in my comment section, but I totally lost my train of thought. I've seen people get muted for nothing, but we don't do that in here unless it gives weird vibes. Yeah, if it gives weird vibes, if someone is like repeating the same thing over and over again, I feel like that's when we're like, okay, quiet down, especially for like having a conversation. I remember what I was going to talk about. So if the question comes in, you're good. You can always also ask me stuff while I'm talking, and I will circle back. I try to get to everybody if I can. Well, now I already forgot. Do you think there's an agenda to indoctrinate kids to be gay or teach them explicit things? No, I do not. I think that people are being more open earlier on because if a child is queer or if a child is going to have someone offer them explicit stuff, they'll know what it is and they'll know what to expect. And if you have a parent who's open and talks to you and explains things to you, then I think that that can be really helpful to set you up to be more accepting and to be more accepted. I don't think so either, but so many right-wing people say it's happening. Yeah, for example, like, you know, like when we grew up, I can remember the word that my parents gave us for like for women's body parts or people who, for vulvas, people who have vaginas. And I can remember the word and like, you know, like no one talked to us about like what was okay and what wasn't okay and like around what age is it appropriate or possibly appropriate for things to happen. And nowadays people are like, no, I'm going to teach my kid, sorry. Some people are like, no, I'm going to teach my kid the proper terminology so that if they need to use it, they can use it. And I agree with Kat. It's just plain bigotry and hatred. I think that people are realizing that if we talk about, like, for example, if we get our kids books with diverse characters and if we're getting our kids, like, I don't know, like Playmobil figures and they're all white, most of them are white. But if you can get black and brown Playmobil figures, I'm just using Playmobil or Barbies or dolls or whatever, then they see more of that and we talk more about that and we talk about why and how we can appreciate the differences between us and learn from each other and all of that stuff instead of like implicitly teaching our kids that white is best. And then the same thing goes with gay stuff. Like, even if there's no queer people in your family, if you see a queer person on the street, depending what age your child is, you can start talking about, I mean, I'm single. And so I don't tell my kid a lot about, like, I don't talk about a lot of queer specific stuff in terms of, we don't talk about dating. I'm not with his dad and I'm single and I've been single for a long time. In August, it'll be 2 years. So I don't talk about like, well, when people love each other, blah, blah, blah. But he knows that 2 boys can love each other, 2 girls can love each other. He knows that there are people who are various genders and not everyone is a man or a woman. because I want him to be able to look at other people and be like, okay, cool, that's who you are. How dare kids know that different people exist? It's crazy to me that so many people want to keep their kids so sheltered and like think that it's okay to shelter them and to teach them hate. And then they're either going to grow up like sometimes when I look at people who like are homophobes and all that stuff, I'm like, you better hope your kid doesn't come home and tell you that they're queer or that they're trans or something like that, because you're about to lose your kid or ruin your kid or whatever. Kids are taught to hate. They aren't born that way. That's for sure. My son, thus far, has not said or done anything that I would feel like I need to correct. There have been teachable moments, and there have been times that I just have let him figure things out in his head in terms of like race and stuff like that. And it's so cool to watch him and the way that he processes the way that people look without it being like, that person's different from me, that person's like whatever. It's amazing. But absolutely, they are totally, kids aren't born knowing to hate people. It's definitely the environment kids grow up in that breeds hate in people. Yeah, and of course, if they go to school and the kids at school, maybe, and this is the really unfortunate thing, maybe you've done your work and you've taught them and you've exposed them, and maybe because of that, they're the ones who are sticking up for people at school. But maybe you haven't said that much, and then they get to school and their best friend is from a homophobic or a racist family, and now that's what they're hearing. And maybe they talk to you about it. Maybe they come home and they say, I don't feel good about this. Someone at school said this, and I don't really know what it means. I don't like it. Can we talk about it? You talk about it. Or maybe they're processing it on their own and trying to figure out what that means on their own. And like, I can remember being around friends and they would say something, and I don't remember any examples, but they would just say something and you're kind of like, so I can remember like something feeling like yucky about it, but you're just kind of like, is this what people say? Okay, maybe it's like a racial slur, or maybe it's like, I don't know, anti-gay stuff, whatever, because for so long everyone's been like, I grew up in the 90s and it was like, that's so gay, or like, you're gay. It was always like, you're gay, like if you did something wrong, you're gay. And now I'm like, I am gay. Yeah. But for so long, like, and that's what we heard, and it was just like you couldn't go home and be like, Mom, every time I do XYZ, people say I'm gay. Like, is that bad? Is it okay to be gay? Like, what does that mean? Am I gay? I don't know. Like, what's going on here? Like, we couldn't do that. And so that's my point, is like, yeah, like when kids hear those things and no one's talking to them about it and working through it with them and finding books that explain things and all that stuff. All right, I think I missed some messages over here. Hey, Lindsay, hope you're good. Hi, Kim. I did see you popped in. Thank you. I am doing good. I hope you're going good as well. Doing good as well. I give a lot of chances, so if you get me interviewed, you deserve it. Yeah, I agree. Christianity houses abusers, yet none of those people saying leave the kids alone about that hypocrisy. I agree. I had a best friend since kindergarten, and homeschooling is the way. Yes, I'm homeschooling my kid. I hope that it lasts as long as it possibly can. I don't know how long I'm going to do it because I'm doing it by myself and I have to work a lot and it's really hard to feel like I'm able to be successful at anything at all ever. But I'm very happy with my choice so far. So, yes. Um, but yeah, she was my best friend from kindergarten on, and she ended up marrying a guy from our hometown, super conservative. He comes from a conservative, like, religious background as well. But she was always like more liberal than I was, just because like where her parents came from, where my parents came from. I don't ever remember my parents saying anything racist or homophobic, never. But like conservative area, so they were just kind of like, yeah, we've been voting conservative our lives because that's what our parents did. My mom never voted. She didn't know how to vote till a couple years ago when she was like, I think I need to vote. It's time. And she is not how she was raised. So I'm very thankful for that as a queer person. But yeah, she was my best friend. And when I came out the second time, I came out twice. If you don't know that, I don't talk about my queer journey as often anymore as I used to. Before I started talking about abuse, I talked about coming out late and all that stuff. But she stopped being my friend because she was like, I was wondering if I should read the Bible about this. And I was like, well, you don't have to say anything else. I don't care. I don't give a shit. You can read the book, and I don't need you to come back to me with your answer. Because if you don't love me, no matter what I'm doing, who I'm dating, I don't need it. And I cut her out. But also I realized that like if we were gonna get together for play dates and our kids were together, like my kid would be using anatomically correct language. My kid would be hopefully inclusive of everybody because that's what I'm teaching him to do. And her girls would be like, that child looks gay, like we shouldn't approach him, or that child has gay parents, like no. And I was like, I don't really want my kid to be like, it's weird because they're like, we don't want our kid to be exposed to your like heathen child. And I'm like, I don't want my kid exposed to your like hate. So yeah, I remember that too. All the biggest think exposure will make the kids gay. Like comp het is a thing for sure, but they don't care because they want comp het to be a thing. They want us to stay straight, right? Like they're definitely benefiting from that, whereas they're not benefiting from the visibility of the queer community they're not benefiting from the Little Mermaid being black. They're not benefiting from that. So it's not even just homophobic stuff. It's like all these people are, oh, Ariel was white. Ariel was a freaking made up character. Yeah, she was written by a white dude in Denmark. That's fine. She's a fish. She could be green for all I care. Who cares? But they don't benefit from black and brown people seeing that they can be special and important and good and loved and cherished and can sing and act and do all the stuff. The bigots and the homophobes and the haters, whatever, they don't benefit from any of that. So I don't get why people think it's all up to them to tell others who they can be and love. I agree. Well, because honestly, like this is weird. I was not expecting this conversation to go. Usually it's abuse and we just talk about abuse tactics and how to get past it and all that stuff. But this is cool. It's Pride Month, so we're into it. Well, we can talk about this anytime, but it's a nice time to talk about this. But yeah, it's because people are so scared and they want to protect their power and they want to stay in their what they know. And again, they're threatened by people being themselves. It's always been about control. Always, 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 always since the dawn of time, besides civilizations that had like two-spirit and revered people who were of several genders, or I don't want to say the wrong thing because I don't know everything about that, obviously. But since the dawn of time, I mean, not the dawn of time, I don't know. I like history, but I don't know exactly when. But forever and ever and ever, it's been, they're different. Let's destroy their whole entire culture and history and erase them because, well, if they get any more powerful, they could be the ones to take over us. Right? Hi, how are you? Hi, Julie. I'm good. How are you? Love shouldn't have conditions. It's not love if it does. Exactly. Love is love. Yes. My friend came out to me years ago and was shocked when I did. I already knew. Yes, it happens. Ariel's a mermaid. Ariel's a freaking mermaid. Doing fine, just chilling. Me too, basically. Right now we're talking about, excuse me, I just ate an entire bag of chocolate-covered walnuts. I don't know if it was my best choice, but they're very good. And I did get a second bag because I will be eating that probably tomorrow, the entire bag. They're so good. I've never seen chocolate covered walnuts just like at a store before. Like you can probably get them in specialty shops, but here they're at Mercadona. Every time we go, I'm getting them. I'm eating them all. Probably gonna make myself sick. I think I spelled her name right. Yeah, Halle Bailey is so pretty. She is. She really is. Her name always trips me out because obviously, like, I'm old and grew up with Halle Berry, and it's very similar. That's probably who she was named after, obviously, because Halle Berry also beautiful. Again, new podcast episode out today. It's about entitlement when it comes to abuse. We can keep talking about gay stuff. I love the question. I thought that it was going to go south. I just got kicked off of TikTok Live for hate speech. Yup. Usually I don't talk about this kind of stuff, but if it was the opposite, I'm banned from going live on TikTok for a week. If it was the opposite and we had been talking about the opposite thing, we wouldn't have been banned. Ugh, no, I'm not working that job. Anyway, I'm going to get off because I got banned and I'm going to go to bed. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening, even though that was like a different topic than we usually cover. And I will see you all later. If you love the walnuts, now you can buy your favorite milk chocolate and melt it, then keep on shining your light for those who can't say it. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. That's a great idea. I didn't even think about that. Just get some chocolate, make it myself, and I can pick like good chocolate. I like that. Okay. I think I might go live on Instagram just to go live on Instagram. Before I go to bed, because I almost never go live and I try to say hi to everybody at least once a week. So I might as well get it done since I can't finish my TikTok. So thanks for hanging out and I will see you all later.